Oh, there's still one. See it? There's another one. There's like 3.
Oh god.
Ah! Oh, stop, don't move.
He's very fast.
Oh, that poor guy.
What did that guy think?
Cock-sucking motherfucking deer.
And everyone be hitting deer nowadays, and I was talking with my friend about the appropriate reaction when a deer hops in front of your vehicle, and I was just shocked by what he said, but he was even more shocked with what I said. And I'm going to tell y'all both of our approaches to hitting deer, and I want you to say which way is the better way to hit a deer. So what he said is you're supposed to slow down so the deer makes less of an impact on your car. Slow down, barely nudge the deer, it's a little bit of a dent. So what I think you're supposed to do is if that deer hops in front of your car,
I was blessed to tag a big doe this morning. I've already skinned it out, but we've had some questions recently on how I remove the internal organs. So I want to take some time and share my technique with you. If you're curious about how we skin a deer, watch the episode we previously released. The first step is taking the hide off, which I like to skin a deer hanging up, but before I even hang it up, I flip the deer over on its back and I skin down the sternum and actually cut the muscle back from each side, and that makes it much easier to open up that thoracic cavity. The next step is removing the front shoulders. It's much easier to remove the shoulders now before I open this up and get some of the body fluids on that meat. The front shoulder is easy to remove from a deer because it's connected to the body by muscle and other tissues. There's not a bone connection, so you do not have to cut through bone to remove the front shoulder. So when you're getting ready to cut the shoulder, don't just go in there hacking. You see a natural separation between the muscles on the shoulder and the muscles on the torso of the body. So I'm just following that little line. You can see how I'm really just not cutting through a lot of muscle. You got to cut this little muscle here. And I'm following that line of connective tissue till the top of the shoulder and come down right here. You can see the top of the shoulder blade right there. And that removes it very clean. You probably notice there's a tub under the carcass, and that's so blood will drip in there, not get on the concrete, or anything I trim off that we're not going to eat can go in the tub, and then we can dispose of that appropriately later. The next step, after I've removed the front shoulders, is opening up the thoracic cavity. I'm starting here and working my way up. You know, when I started harvesting some deer, of course I was out in the woods, rolling around the ground, got the meat all dirty, and I take my sharp knife and go down through there. And it wasn't sharp anymore, it wasn't as sharp anyway, and then I couldn't make as clean a cuts on the meat. I've learned a better process, especially once I learned how clean it was, to bring the deer out of the field and process it back at the shop. To open up the thoracic cavity, I like to use loppers versus my knife. It may seem a bit more efficient to have two blades cutting versus a bypass. These are called bypass loppers, where the sharp blade forces whatever you're cutting against this bypass object. But I'm telling you, you don't want something sharp sticking in right here, because that's the rumen. It's got pressure pushing down, especially hanging like this, and you don't want to end up with rumen fluid on the meat you're going to consume. So I take the bypass end, stick it in here, I try to stay in the center of the sternum. I want to cut bone. If I get over in the ribs, it's bone, meat, and meat tends to bind up, bypass loppers. It takes several snips. It's not like, sharp scissors just going right through material. You're cutting through bone, so I'll snip down, kind of check out my process. I want to make sure I cut the last rib, what some people call the collarbone, because if you don't, when the organs come down, they're hanging up there, and you won't be able to get them out cleanly. You need to cut this so you can open up the entire thoracic cavity.
Growing Deer is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Also by Reconics, Eagle Seed, Winchester, Avian X Decoys, Lacrosse Footwear, Fleet Outdoor Apparel, Morel Targets, Bog, Hooks Custom Calls, Summit Tree Stands.
I was blessed to tag a big doe that we previously released. The first step is taking the hide off, which I like to skin a deer hanging up, but before I even hang it up, I flip the deer over on its back and I skin down the sternum and actually cut the muscle back from each side, and that makes it much easier to open up that thoracic cavity. The next step is removing the front shoulders. It's much easier to remove the shoulders now before I open this up and get some of the body fluids on that meat. The front shoulder is easy to remove from a deer because it's connected to the body by muscle and other tissues. There's not a bone connection, so you do not have to cut through bone to remove the front shoulder. So when you're getting ready to cut the shoulder, don't just go in there hacking. You see a natural separation between the muscles on the shoulder and the muscles on the torso of the body. So I'm just following that little line. You can see how I'm really just not cutting through a lot of muscle. You got to cut this little muscle here. And I'm following that line of connective tissue till the top of the shoulder and come down right here. You can see the top of the shoulder blade right there. And that removes it very clean. In place, and that's because I've not cut through the diaphragm. You want to kind of wait to get everything ready, and then when you do it right, you just be able to peel this all out into the tub, and it keeps all the meat very clean. You can see all the fat. This doe was very healthy. All the organs are covered with fat in here, and that's a great sign that this meat is going to be very palatable. This was a very healthy doe. At this point, I just free up a few of the little side muscles here. Some people call them sheep muscles. I'm not cutting in any organs. This is the bladder. I don't want to puncture the bladder, but when I was skinning the deer, I freed up most of the tissue on top of the bladder. I'm going to just reach from this side and free up a little bit more, just connective tissue here. And so nothing's leaking, no fluids are getting on the meat. Now the tenderloin's right back here, that's the top of them, so be careful where you're cutting. You're just freeing up fat. And then once I get ready, I'm just opening this up a little bit. Then I'm going to free this up. And notice I'm not even above my gloves. I'm not dirty at all. This doesn't have to be a yucky process. Just freeing that up. This is a kidney, and see the kidney's almost encased with fat, and it's mid-October. That's a great sign. These deer should be totally encased, the kidney should be totally encased with fat. By Thanksgiving or so, they're going to go through the winter just fine. These are the tenderloins again, so I'm just going right above them. Right above them. And then looky, oh my goodness, I'm getting almost to the diaphragm right here, and you can see I'm going into the thoracic cavity. And my arrow at that angle cut through just a little bit of the esophagus. You can see the back of the lungs and liver are bloody, because that's where marrow hit, and this is the diaphragm. So I'm just trimming that down off both sides. And the organ's just falling into my tub. I'm not in here pulling around, doing a bunch of things. I'm continuing to take that diaphragm down so the organs of the deer will just come out. And I'm freeing up the tissue on the backside. And because I cut that last rib with the loppers, everything just falls down. All the way down. There's the heart right there. Some people eat the heart. I don't, because it's very, very high in cholesterol. Organ meat is very high in cholesterol. And that's about as clean a carcass. And then when I'm all the way down, well, I'm cutting that esophagus off right there. A little fat holding it up. And I've got a clean carcass. And again, my arrow will come in this side and cut through the esophagus. And when
the esophagus and the main artery, then you grab in there and you pull all the way out, and she's clean as she can be. And this is where that first incision comes in handy, and you got a clean deer. And that's usually, if I hurry, I can do it in less than 2 minutes, sometimes down to a minute. But that's the main thing, is get that out of there, let that body temperature start to cool down. Just gonna clean her out, get all the blood out. And it's that simple. I don't know what time it is, but I'd say she's field dressed in less than 30 minutes would be my guess. A lot of.
So one of the craziest stories that I'm going to talk about was when I was forming dicom, everybody. A lot of people don't know how incredible and how hard it was. Well, you guys got to understand that I was working with Omar. We had the Circuit City contract, and I had my dad employed, and I had employed my primo JJ, and we were working over there with Omar, Eli, and the rest of the crew, everybody. And I helped them also to get the contract, everybody. And I met TJ and Chen one day. We were working for Ironwood, and it used to be Omar, Eli, Jesus, me, all of us, and TJ and Chen. And TJ and Chen, Chen's like a person that gets involved in every single business and does every transaction. He's a scam artist. He's an achiever. He's a greatness. He does magic. But TJ's the genius. TJ is the one that is responsible, and when you tell him something, you gotta make sure that it's gonna come through. Well, me and TJ started helping one another with doing home theaters, the Bose system, the JBL, JBC's systems, and running the 5.7.1s and the 9.1 speakers, learning how to do projectors, mounting TVs on chimneys, and running electricity. We had to have electric license and stuff like that. I learned it from Güero, how to not be scared and put our proposal, put our minds into it, and we could achieve greatness. And TJ always thought that I was good at my job, and I was a hustler and a motivator and an achiever. And TJ wanted to expand and wanted to have money, you know. And everything he did for his kids and for his family and everything. And there was one day that that's where I met Lupillo Rivera and Chen and TJ, todos ellos, you know, and Jenny and Chinkies and the rest of the group. Chen, his brother, his best friend was Lupillo Rivera. When they killed Chen's brother, he was from Long Beach, everybody, over there by Wilmington. He went through a lot of depression, and Lupillo Rivera Before, Chen's brother used to do the DJs and used to have CDs, and he used to know everybody. He knew Chalino and he knew the crew, but they ended up killing him. He had a Cobra car, and it was a badass car, everybody. And I got to meet him, and he was one of those persons that looked like a movie star, looked like he was famous, and looked like he was gonna be somebody. And right after that, Lupillo started becoming famous, and he started making money and everything. Not sure exactly why they killed Chen's brother. He was about, I'd say about 40 years old, and they killed him. And that's when I came in the picture. We were in the funeral, everybody, and we buried Chen's brother. He was broken down. Chen has 3 sisters and 2 brothers, and I got to meet all of them, and I went to the funeral. And like I said, Lupillo was the best friend of his brother, and Chen's cuñado was also an achiever. He was a scam artist, and he could make all these buildings, businesses, and he was an entrepreneur person. He was great. So he thought about the scam, about the business. Chen had the influence and the motivation, and TJ had the skills and the brains. And las muchachas, all of them, they had the skills to. They used to work in offices, and they had skills, and they knew how to do everything. Finance. They were administrators. They were secretaries. They were awesome. Together, all of them formed dicom. They only had one worker, and it was me. When we started dicom, it was Dish Network and Home Theater, and they were promising heaven and earth. We used to get jobs in Temecula, Escondido, San Diego. We used to get San Bernardino, Riverside, Santana. So we drove a lot. But back in days, job at Home Theater, he used to give me 2 jobs, and Dish Network. The Dish Network used to pay me about $180 for receivers. The Home Theater and install the TV, they used to pay me $550. Plus, I used to charge $50 a phone jack, plus $150 to run on the electricity up to where the TV was at. When I started doing home theater, we didn't have these flat screen TVs. We had plasmas, so they weigh like 1,000 pounds, everybody. And we had to put real anchors and bolt them down and make sure we got the studs. And the speakers, they weren't wireless, so we had to run all the wires, thick ass wires, monster cables. And I used to sell everything, all the accessories on top of it. So one install, I could make about $1,000, everybody. And I did that for like about a year. As soon as I started making more money, I stopped working with Omar, and TJ, he's still with Omar, and Eli's still with her. As soon as I left, I was the rock, I was their foundation, I was the person that brought us stability. I stabilized our contract, and I took always the jobs that no one could take, the far jobs, the long jobs, the jobs that accounting. But because I was making more money with Chen, and locally in Long Beach, like in San Pedro, Southgate, Huntington Park, but mainly Long Beach, everybody. I didn't have to be driving all that far away and all that. And TJ and Chen, Chen had a way to convince everybody. He has a way to convince everybody. And he always told me that he was trying to get a contract with his brother-in-law, and Lupillo was going to put the money in, and he was going to need a lot of workers, and he wanted to make me a supervisor, a lead man, someone important. And with time, he wanted to sell the company to me. I believed his story, and I trusted him and everything. But first, we had to accomplish one thing: get the contract. Well, me and TJ, we decided to go to Carson City, everybody, and we're gonna open up the contract over there, make our C Corporation company, and bring it down and get a contract. In order to get a contract over here in DirecTV or in Best Buy or in Circuit City or all these big companies, it had to be an outside company. And the easiest and best company that we had a way was Carson City, which is Nevada, everybody. And Carson City is the capital of Nevada, everybody. That's where we have all the casinos and stuff like that. Well, I was telling my uncle, which is the only uncle that I honestly believed and trusted, and I have faith in, my tío Roberto. And he told me lots of stories, but he told me when he got married and it's the casinos right there, Lake Tahoe, everybody. There's Lake Tahoe, California, and Lake Tahoe, Nevada. There's only a line that defines both places. And plus, Lake Tahoe, it's an awesome lake. It's a beautiful lake. It's a historic lake, and it does freeze, everybody. It does get ice, and my tío Roberto told me that that's where he had his honeymoon, and that's where he got married. And I end up enjoying his conversations and stories and stuff. So TJ, because he was born and raised in Carson City, and he used to always take the drive and go over there. Well, this time we had a purpose and we had a reason. So we both decided to go on one of the trucks, which is Baby Huey's truck. That truck, I ended up buying it for Freddie, and Freddie ended up wrecking it, all right? I almost killed himself, everybody. Well, we had Baby Huey's truck, and it used to run good. It was a badass truck. And we took off from Long Beach. And I told, back then I used to be with Maura and the youngsters, Chech and Jigga. And I told her, hey, you know what? We're gonna go and we're not gonna come back until we get a contract. And she believed in me and she trusted me in every single way. She used to work for Victoria's Secret, so she used to be making about $1,000 a week. She encouraged me, supported me, and told me that she'll wait for me, and whatever I needed, she'll support me. She'll encourage me all the time. So me and TJ decided to go. He said bye to his kids and bye to his wife, and we got on the Baby Huey Chevy S10 truck, standard, and we drove off. And I had my Jeep Cherokee, but that's when my Jeep Cherokee, when I fucked it up. I loaned it to little Chech or Jigga, and they hit him in the back, and the transmission wasn't working. So I ended up taking that truck to the dealer. I ended up spending a lot of money on it. And and it was just a brain. They had to reset it. So it's a scam, everybody. Jeep Cherokees have like a sensor. Once it gets hit, for it won't get destroyed or fuck up, it locks and it doesn't turn on, and it feels like if you broke the engine. But all you gotta do is reset the brain, the computer of the Cherokee. Well, me and TJ drove off, and me and TJ, we're both persons that you don't fuck with. TJ's a person that he don't lie, he don't like to get lied, he don't bullshit, and he don't like to bullshit. So you gotta be honest, truthful, and straightforward to him. And I like to bullshit and lie, right, everybody? I like to clown and tease people and make people better, right? Not just rely on people. So we're on our way, and I salí almost close to the border. So we went on the 5 to the 14 past Lancaster. It switches to a 2-lane, and once you pass Lake Tahoe baseline, it becomes a freeway, everybody. But we're going through the mountains, and I'm talking about stiff mountains. You have to go through that grapevine. Either you go through there or you go all around through Sacramento. So that's basically the shortcut. It's time consuming, but it saves you a couple hours. And you have to have a good truck. There's no cell phone signal, and it's pitch black. You get stuck, you don't have a good car, you're screwed. Ain't nobody gonna help you. You're gonna have to get it towed and wait a lot of hours, you know? So make sure you have a good car when you go through there. Well, everybody, we're driving, and just before we hit a baseline, there's like a bar, and in the bar there's a little line a couple 100 feet away before the bar, and that's the state line. As soon as you pass there, it's also like a rest stop. You put gas and you drink a beer and you play some pool table, or you rest in the parking lot, and then you proceed. Well, about, I say 5 miles before we hit a state line, we seen a big ass fucking deer, and we're following this trailer, and trailers go through there, everybody, okay? Trailers and trucks and stuff like that. And it was a truck, not a trailer, a truck. And he hit it. And I told TJ, what are we gonna eat over there? I go, we don't got no money. We just got the money we have. We're gonna fucking use it for gas, and we're gonna be going to Reno back and forth. But we're gonna stay with my mom, and also in the van, in the truck. We had sleeping bags and everything, but it snows, everybody. It's fucking freezing cold. But he told me that we could sleep in the casinos. We park our truck and then go act like we're gonna go play in a slot machine and go to sleep. And sleep for 2-3 hours, find a little corner, and take off. Well, I told you, you're not gonna believe the story I'm gonna tell you, TJ. He tells me, tell me, I'll believe anything. It's like, I'm down for everything. So I told him how I grew up, and I told him the stories from Arkansas, and told him how we killed the deer and all that. So I told him, hey, you think, like, you don't get scared if we kill a deer? And he actually told me, nah, I've killed deers. So I told him, all right. He goes, as a matter of fact, my dad, he'll skin it for us. And he'll fucking, if we get a deer, and it's like a great deer, an earth deer, he'll sell the head for us. We could probably get like about $500. He'll dry it up and drain the blood, and then make it into a souvenir. He'll sell it for he'll buy it from us for $500. And we had just seen a sign that it said it was deer season. So in other words, we could kill deers. We could kill guy deers, but not girl deers, because they need the women to produce. And I told TJ, right there when we just passed the truck, there's a fucking big ass deer, and we'll have meat. And you say you could sell the head. I said, I haven't ate meat deer in a while, and your dad, he says he'll skin it and everything. I go, fuck it, let's do it. So, back in the days, we used to carry saws and all these blades to cut wood and drywalls and 2x4s and all that. So I told TJ, I got some bags. So we used to put the bags for dust, for everyone dirty the house. So I had a box of black bags, the thick kind. I told him, if we cut it in pieces, we could put the pieces in the bag, and we just leave the horns and the head intact. We'll put a bag on it. So we said, all right, cool. So this is about 2 o'clock in the morning, everybody. The beginning of snow. It was about Thanksgiving, Christmas time, you know. So we both got off the road. We came back, and the deer still was alive. So right away, I told TJ, "You got a knife?" He goes, "Do I got a knife?" I'm fucking from Carson City. Carson City, we have axes, knives, and all kinds of stuff. He bought this fucking axe out, and we chopped the head off. Blood all over and everything. And we cut the pieces, the deer in like 3-4 pieces, and we fucking put them in bags. And back in those days, we used to have gloves and trash bags, like I said, and we had all these equipment, saws, and fucking things to cut it and everything. So we fucking axed and saw that fucking deer. We poked it, we let it throw all the blood out, and TJ goes, "Let me get some blood," you know. And he got a bag, and we put like so many gallons of fucking blood in a bag, tied it up, throw it in the bag. Next thing we know, we used up like, I say about 4 or 5 bags to put that big ass deer in there. And then at the end, we cover the head, and we taped them up, and we fucking cleaned up. We had clothes, everybody, so our old clothes got bloody and all that. We threw it away. We left it, we buried it, and we tried to cover as much blood as we could, you know. And we threw that deer inside the truck, the S10 Chevy standard truck, which is Baby Huey's and soon to be Freddy's truck. And we drove those 5 miles, and it was state line, and we stopped for the rest. We were tired, you know, and we butchered that fucking deer. So we walked in, straight to the shower, straight to the restroom. We showered up. We had a lot of blood in our hands, and Our shoes have blood. We're cleaning the blood and everything. When we turn around, about 2 rangers pull up, hands on, fucking like pointing guns at us, and they thought we killed somebody and we buried somebody. And we told them the story, and because it was deer season, they congratulated us and they told us that every deer has a tag. If this deer has a tag, you guys are safe. If not, you guys got to pay the fine. Thank God the deer had the tag, and TJ knew about the tags. I didn't, and we gave them the tags, and they have them next to their ears. And any animal that has a tag, you could kill. Okay, and a lot of animals, possums, armadillos, fucking skunks, bunnies, they're on the road. You run them over and everything, and no one really stops and picks up those animals. But this was a fucking deer, everybody, and we needed food and we needed money, so we did the impossible. We end up getting that deer, and once we got out of the casino, it was about, I say about 3-4 hours from State Line to Carson City. Once we hit Carson City, we called up the dad. The dad right away fucking had already a place where we could wash up the deer, and because if it gets if time passes, the deer closes his eyes and you can never open his eyes. So we had to staple the eyes open, you know, so it won't close his eyes. Because a deer that has closed eyes no one will buy it. And you have to wait that the body's still warm. That once it gets cold, there's no way that you could fucking open up and move his mouth. And we eat the tongue, the brains, and obviously the dad and them, they eat the testicles and, you know, other shit, nasty shit. I don't. The liver, they do. His dad is a white boy, but his mom is Genghis Khan family member, you know. So we got there, we cleaned up the deer and everything. We got the salt to salt the deer. We make sure his eyes were looking straight, not cross-sided like Toñito. And we cleaned them up. We left a little here and there blood for it could look, you know, it could feel real, you know. And then we end up sawing it nice and clean for we could put it on a mounting bracket, you know, so we could mount it on a wall. Then we sanded, and I forgot what we named it. And we named that deer. I swear to God, under like 5 hours, that deer was already sold. We made $500, everybody, and we had deer food for the whole week. And with those $500, we rented a room, and we ate good. We ate nothing but deer and bunnies, everybody. Deer and bunny, baby. We didn't eat McDonald's, none of that. We were on special. And we, some of the deer meat, we put it to dry with salt, and that's called beef jerky. We made little beef and jerky, and I brought some from Maura, and some tuquique también. And I told me and TJ, we got there, God blessed us in various ways. First, He united me and TJ. Because me and TJ, we had a little disagreements. We're jealous of each other, and we wanted to. Each one wanted to be in control. And TJ, he's strict, and he don't play around. He don't gamble or nah. He's a serious person, straight down to business. And me, I'm the opposite. I believe in destiny and faith. So as I was saying with the story, so me and TJ end up becoming great friends, and our conversations and our dear story really did an impact in us, and we knew that we're both destined to fucking be with each other. And it unified us. It made us a unit, a team. And PJ, to every day that passed by, he always says that I'm fucking crazy. He never met nobody besides Chandler, right? That relies on faith and destiny, and that always gets his way. I proved to him over and over and over and over and over. So the day that we're on the way, we got the deer. We made $500 plus meat. The dad had a ice chesting, and we put it in there. And we end up going to 4 contracts, which is Circuit City, right? And back then it was Blockbuster, everybody. And it's a small town. TJ knew everybody. The dad knows everybody. Very influential and very known. And when I got there, see, TJ's very strict and very odd, and pisses off everybody. And everybody hated him because he's a little anger child, you know. And he left Carson City, so people kind of disowned him, you know. So there I come with TJ, and we were having a meeting, and TJ tells everybody that I'm amazing. I run businesses. I've done this, done that. I do home theaters. I do electric. I got my C license. I got this. I got that. I'm the shit. Way more than I was, right? I didn't even believe him, you know. But he told me, just say it. We'll get the license. We'll pay somebody. We'll do something. We just got to get a contract. And we're expecting to stay there a month to 2 months. Well, the first person that we went was Circuit City. We got our contract, baby. I'm a lucky charm, baby. I'm a lucky charm. And in 5 days, we got a second contract. We end up getting the DirecTV contract and the Circuit City contract. And we end up staying another week. We did a couple jobs over there. We were doing home theaters, and over there they're like motorhomes, all right? They're fucking like 4 feet high because of snow and everything. So you could technically crawl and walk under the motorhome to all the houses, you know? They're not like right here. Right here they're put on a foundation or fucking 2 feet. Over there it's 5 feet, 4 feet, 6 feet. And easy jobs. All the wall fishes, everything's easy access. I mean, I'm talking about easy money, right? So we end up doing like about 10 jobs, and we end up coming back with like $5,000, everybody. We busted our ass, and like I said, we had money for our hotel. We rented the hotel for 2 weeks. And we got 2 contracts. And we came back. And that's when me and TJ say, hey, let's go to get a contract for DirecTV. And me and TJ walked in with Juan Carlos and Chen, but me and TJ were the spokesmen. And TJ does graphics, does designs, and does illustrations, and does everything composed and all the structures. He went to college. He has a fucking amazing creativity. He drafts and he makes everything. And me, I'm the motivator, the lucky charm. I'm the smooth operator, everybody. And we got our contract for DirecTV down here. We had a contract over there. We had the Circuit City there, and then we had our contract for DirecTV over here, everybody. So after a month, we decided to close the contracts over there, and we just brought everything down here. And we went like about 3 more times, me and TJ, back to Carson City, because we couldn't just close the contract because they gave us a helping hand and everything. And me and Maura, the 3rd time as a taker, we're gonna stay a year. And like I said, we got the contract right away. As soon as I got the contract, we transferred the contract from Carson City to down here. And Maura, on the first day, she went into a gas station, everybody, and she $5, right? She played a machine and she won $4,000, everybody. TJ was like, "You guys are the luckiest person in the world." When I started dicom, I didn't have money, and I didn't save money, and I didn't have the structure. But TJ trusted and believed in me, and he goes, you got it, man. And I ended up convincing my tia Berta and Danny and most of my family members to help me out. And I did it, everybody. I paid $150,000. I don't know how we did it. I don't know how we did everything. We were doing over 100 jobs a week, a day, which was 700 jobs a week minimum. We were doing all the wall fishes, all this, without money, everybody, right? Without money. That's the only money that I used was that I sued the department 3 times. I had like about 60,000. Berta had like about 40,000. And we put that money to work. And beyond that, everything else is God's blessing. And Berta was so impressed, and she believed every single thing that me and TJ told her. And she walked by faith and walked by encourage, and she knew that we're gonna be successful and we're gonna mount to something. So I ended up opening another contract, and then I opened another contract. I ended up leaving the contracts, and because I got divorced and I got to the stress, to Danny and to everybody. I don't regret nothing. And I remember me and TJ were like, we couldn't bond together. We kept fucking refusing our own friendship and all. Well, that deer that we fucking butchered and sold united me and TJ. And me and TJ respected one another, and we did whatever we had to in life. And we both were encouraged and both supporting one another. And I just wish that they're doing good. I think they're doing good. I dropped out of that relationship and friendship, everything, once I had my business. Chen screwed us up, and Chen sued, and I lost contracts and everything because of Chen. Respect him a lot. I get to see him here and there. he has like 5 kids down, and TJ has about 5 kids too, and I'm grateful to everybody. Everybody's happy. Everybody's the family broke up with them, whatever. My family, we're still united. We're all achievers, we're all graders, and we don't envy and we don't hate one another. We encourage and support each other. So not only me, Danny, and Rachel, we made a pact to each other. Every year we go to my Christmas parties, and we go. It's in a casino, everybody, and in memory to the contracts, in memory to dicom, in memory to TJ, to my mom, to everybody. And that year gave us hope, gave us a friendship. And I know it's a crazy story, but it happened. And I forgot what we named that fucking deer, right? We named them, man. And we ate deer all week. And that's the deer story, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoy it. And it did happen. Well, everybody, I never plan nothing. I never get organized. I leave it to chance. I leave it to destiny. And everybody always tells me, how can you be so positive? I tell people, how can you not? And I don't think that you need to oversell yourself, overpromise. I don't believe in lying or bullshit, you know? I believe in having faith, being blessed, and I've always got in my way, everybody. Yes, I do get stubborn because I don't get my way, but that's why I'm so positive, because I don't know how to give up. Whatever I put my mind to, I accomplish it. So everybody, I hope you guys enjoy this story, and life is awesome. Don't rely on anybody but yourself. And if you're like me, it's gonna get done, everybody. All right, everybody.